All right, Ron Adams tomorrow. 8:30 at this time. I lied. That was my bad. Raymond Ritter's on top of it. He's like, hey, Ron's for tomorrow, not today. Sorry. Ron will join us tomorrow. I can't wait to get his perspective on this series. Defense, he won't tell us the game plan, of course, but, we'll get into how to defend the Sacramento Kings, how to slow them down. Pretty Ricky will get to you in just a second. 888-957-9570. Your thoughts on the series as we get closer and closer to game number 1 of the Western Conference playoffs, of course, the NBA playoffs, I should say. First round Western Conference series against the Sacramento Kings. Game 1, Saturday at 5:30. However, if you want to be a Chase Center for the Warriors' first home playoff game this year, we're giving away a pair of tickets to game number 3 against the Sacramento Kings. Make sure you're listening all day on Thursday for your chance to win tickets. That's game 3 against the Kings. We're giving out a pair. Listen all day Thursday for your chance to win. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sacramento and the Warriors meeting for the first time in the playoffs. NorCal rivalry. Maybe this is the birth of a NorCal regional rivalry, the Battle of I-80. Draymond Green has been saying a lot. And he recently joined Mark Stein and Chris Haynes on their podcast. And Draymond Green, the quote that he had was, I'm going to play basketball for 15 years. I want to retire as a Golden State Warrior, but it is not up to me. End quote. Draymond Green wants to be a Warrior. He wants to retire. And I got no problem with that. He helped build this thing. He did. But it's not up to him. Well, he does have the opt-out option. So he can opt in on a 1-year deal, but obviously he wants that long-term stability. He also had thoughts on Rudy Gobert, Shasky. And I know you want to get to that.
Well, can we stop on the 15 years thing? Was that more of like, I want to play 15 years, like me saying, I want to be in radio for 25 years?
I just read the quote. Maybe we'll get the audio.
Well, no, I'm asking what you think. Like, do you interpret that as, like, specifically 15 years?
I truly believe, 15-year career, to have that. And maybe he'll want to play longer. But maybe he knows his body, and maybe he knows he only has 15 years in him. I don't know. I look at it as he does want to retire and go to State Warrior. That means a lot to me.
So he's in the 11th season right now.
Next year will be 12.
Next year's 12.
12, 13, 14, 15. That's 4 more years of basketball after this season. 4 more years.
What does that look like? So, like, what if you did, like, an extension? So, like, if I was the Warriors, what I would like to see happen is he opts in on his year. So, boom, he gets the $28 million.
That's 12.
And then a 3-year extension that would be a little more team-friendly.
Hopefully.
So that everyone can meet in the same. I'm not saying that he's got to take this huge haircut because he's earned a certain level of respect. But, like, I think it's got to be amicable for both sides because there is a luxury tax portion of this conversation.
It is. And I also think, what if Draymond Green knows that, hey, I can be this Iguodala for the youngsters.
I would love that.
Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, and Jonathan Kuminga. He ages and he transitions to the bench, and he helps that bench unit, and he'll be in the closing lineup. Again, we get so fixated on who starts and who stops. For some people, it's important. Like Jordan
3 years
Poole,
from now, who knows what he looks like?
Who knows? But
maybe he's not in the closing. But I hear what you're saying.
More players, they need to start. And you look at Jordan Poole's splits, it's like, man, he's so much better as a starter in terms of scoring in basketball.
And Draymond started his career coming off the bench.
Exactly. So maybe he transitions like that. But the more important thing is, he's not looking at the LA Lakers. He's not looking at the Clippers. I'm sure there's conversations, and I'm sure other teams will want him. A contender would want him because of his wisdom and his playoff experience. But it does mean something that now we're at the point with this organization, after all the down years, that we got players who want to retire as a Warrior.
Well, that's amazing.
And move on elsewhere. Like, think about how far this franchise has come.
I mean, that's amazing. But, like, on the Draymond thing, the reason why I do think that the financial portion of it matters, if you hit the luxury tax top portion, you wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to sign someone like Dante DiVincenzo. Right? So you have to be able to have that mid-level exception, and you want to be able to have some of those freedoms when it comes to player mobility and stuff. So that's the only reason why the money matters. If this was baseball and it didn't matter one way or the other on the money, like, who cares? Give him whatever he wants.
Money does matter.
But it does in this league. And that's so I don't know, does he view a certain price point as disrespect?
Maybe, probably.
I mean, the reality is this. I don't care if you're a plumber, a bus driver, a lawyer, a doctor, a basketball player. We all want to get paid something. Now, are there levels to this? Of course. So you don't want to be disrespected. And then, like not all money is created equal. Like 25, 35 million in Detroit isn't the same as 22 million in Golden State.
No, it's not. Still a lot of money, though.
No, I'm saying from Draymond's perspective,
I hear
because he's
you.
made
No,
a lot,
I
and
hear you.
He's got a lot of things going. So,
Well,
but I don't know
from
what that
tax
equation
purposes.
looks like for him.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what he's worth. The teams will tell him what he's worth.
What do you
Teams would
think he's
offer a
worth?
contract. I don't know. To the Warriors, he's invaluable.
I think he's worth more to the Warriors than other
Hey,
teams.
he's invaluable to the Warriors. On a team like Detroit that is not in a position to win multiple basketball games, like they're not winning 45 games next season unless they massive something. Like all of a sudden Cade Cunningham becomes Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them taking that leap into the Eastern Conference.
Why? What is that? The only thing that would be driving his decision is to win.
Draymond Green?
Yeah.
At this point, it's all about winning.
Well, people's opinions change a little here.
Like,
and
does
there.
he want to go to a rebuilding team and teach them? I don't think Draymond.
I don't think
Draymond's
so,
in the
but I don't
business of
know.
winning.
I agree.
You go to Michigan State. What are they in the business for? Winning.
I agree, but like
Coming to the Golden State Warriors and playing. Think about how the 2019-20 season went.
I mean, Tony Parker said the same thing, and Tony Parker ended up going to Charlotte or whatever team he ended up going to, because he wanted to keep playing as well as he claimed he wanted to win. It's like you're not
Maybe
winning away from San Antonio.
For 1 year, a one-off, sure.
You know what I'm saying? But
is
who
he
knows?
signing like next season if he opts out? Is he going to a team like Detroit?
You wouldn't think so, but I don't think there's a lot of options.
I think a contender would love to have
No,
Draymond
I think
Green.
contenders. I'm saying, like, are there 25 teams lining up for Draymond? Probably not.
But if it's
all
only
it takes is one.
All it takes is one. But if it's 25 teams not lining up for Draymond Green and there's 5 that are contenders, that's fine. He'll take that all day long.
I agree with that.
But
there
what
may
if there
be
are
no
only
other
contenders? I don't know. I think there's going to be some people lining up for Draymond Green. I really do. We don't know what the market is, but there's going to be a team out there that says this guy is all about winning. He's a winning basketball
For sure.
player.
For sure.
We'll figure out how to fit him into our system.
I would be shocked if he, took a deal to go play for, I'm just trying to think of some of the bottom feeder. The Utah Jazz. Let's just randomly pick them. I would be completely jaw dropped.
However, now that I'm thinking about it, it's hard to envision Draymond Green not wearing a Warrior uniform next season. I'm having a hard time envisioning that.
I agree with you.
Unless they do lose to the Kings in the first round and Joe Lacob decides that, hey, it's it. This is it. The core group, finally, you guys lost the series together in the Western Conference under Steve Kerr. It's time to move on. It's hard for me to envision Draymond Green playing in another uniform next season.
Well, so part of this discussion, we know, Joe Lacob can drive a hard line in terms of negotiations. Is Draymond willing to compromise a little?
Don't know. I have to ask Draymond Green.
I know that. Well, it's unknowable, right? At this point, it's unknowable. I would hope that it ends up working that way. I really hope they can find a compromise.
Let's go to Pretty Ricky in San Leandro. Pretty Ricky, how you doing, man? You're on the roast.
Hey, fellas, how you doing this morning? I cannot contain the excitement. I am so psyched, and I'm not worried at all. I love all the commentation. I love the callers coming in. Oh, defense on the road. Guys, Steph, Dre, Clay, Loon Dog, and one of my favorite players, GP, back in the fold, and our coaching staff and the camaraderie. Bro, nobody's going to beat us in 7 games. It ain't going to happen. Now, I'll tell you this, too. Sacramento, I might give them the first game because of the newness and the craziness. We were there before when young team and the crowd lifted us up. They might get the first game. I'll let them have that one. That's all they're going to get. Warriors win it all again. I'm on record early last year saying they'll win the next 3. I said it on the radio. I said it at work. People said I'm crazy. I love this team. I'm so excited. I can't wait, man.
I love your excitement.
Just fired up.
Love your excitement, Pretty Ricky. Love it. And he brought up Looney. Real quick. Matt George, ABC 10 up in Sacramento, sports reporter, producer, Locked On Keys podcast. I've been on the show. He's a good dude. He's actually cousins with Jeff Hilborn, Matt George. Believe it or not, small world, right? Hilborn from the city. DJ Ilborn. You used to catch him at Madrone on Motown Mondays. Tweeted yesterday, Matt George. Warriors fans on Twitter really presenting Kevon Looney as the counter to Domantas Sabonis with confidence. It's only Monday. About to be a wild week on his app. Basically what Matt George is saying is that Looney is food on defense. A lot of Kings fans feel like Looney is food on defense. I mean, we're talking about a guy who led the league in offensive rebounds. I guess Sabonis led the league in rebounding, period. But the lack of respect Looney's getting heading into the series is fascinating. Like, King fans are getting on Warrior fans saying, you can tell they don't watch much Sacramento basketball. Well, how much Warriors basketball are you guys watching? Because you would know Looney's value to this Warriors team, and you would know what Looney has done this season. All the double-doubles he's had, all the multiple rebound games. What has he had, like 34, 35 double-digit rebound games? I'm looking up right now.
Did they not watch the playoffs last year? Like, just last year?
Well, the Kings haven't been in the playoffs, so
I know, but
check
the Grizzly game was like one of the most watched games in what was it? TNT? I believe it was TNT. It was
ESPN. Which one? Game 6?
It was Game 6.
Game 6 was the ESPN.
ESPN. Wasn't it one of the most watched games of the playoffs last year?
I don't remember the ratings.
Yeah, it was like 3 million people were watching it, or 4 million people were watching it.
That's it?
Yeah. The playoffs didn't rate too well. Again, the numbers are all over the place.
Yeah, I don't.
The Western Conference Finals averaged 2.2 or something along those lines, million per game.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I'm just telling you what they're reporting.
What the numbers say. Yeah,
yeah. I'm just telling you.
That seems a bit low.
Well, it
Just
was
the Bay
weird
Area
because
was
the
watching?
ALS and the NLCS outrated the Eastern
How many
and
people
Western
in the
Conference.
Bay Area?
That I don't know the number of the share. I guarantee our
I
share
mean, how
was
many
way-
just population-wise in the Bay Area? About 8 to 9 million?
Yeah, give or take.
You think half of that was watching the Warriors?
Even if it was a third, that should bring that number up.
Right, yeah.
But that's why I don't believe the Nielsen rating. I mean, you and I have our own opinions on Nielsen when it comes to radio and television. I don't believe them either.
Right. So Looney led the NBA in offensive rebounds. And he's not even in the top 5 when it comes to most improved player. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's on there.
He took a big quantum leap
forward. He did take a big leap. And it feels like and Mully was breaking this down on Warriors pregame live on Sunday. It feels like the most improved player award should go to a guy who's a role player. Who's a role, a guy who, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we knew he was a scorer.
Well, and he's a premier,
premier player.
Ascending star.
Mikal Bridges is on that list.
Yes.
We knew about Mikal Bridges being a two-way star even before he got traded to Brooklyn. It feels like that award should be for glue guys, for guys you don't really talk about too much.
Who's the guy in Utah that was the sixth man?
Jordan Clarkson.
Like, he was a perfect example. He got a lot better in his role, and it was defined. Like, those are the kind of guys. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so Looney, he played all 82 games. Became the 10th Warrior player to play at least 2 consecutive 82-game seasons. The last was Anton Jamison. Anton Jamison back
that's
in
a name I haven't heard
2000 to 2003. You know, he just surfaced on the Vince Carter podcast. He had like a full beard. He had a set of hair. Yeah. I'd never heard him talk.
I have no ill will toward Jamison. I just wish we would have drafted Carter.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question on the free agency thing?
Yep.
No one will deny that there's a talent. You know, Kyrie is different. They're just very different players. So there's different talents, and they're bringing different things to the table. If both guys are free agents, who's got more suitors, Draymond or Kyrie, this offseason?
Don't know.
Because I'm sure there are a lot of teams that will cross Kyrie off their list because they just don't want to deal with him. I think Draymond's got more suitors. I think more teams would want Draymond, which kind of sounds crazy, but if you dig a little deeper, I don't think it's that outlandish.
Now, a couple people thought I was, a little intoxicated yesterday when I said Dallas should choose to build around Kyrie instead of Luka Doncic.
Well, elaborate on that.
Because the reports I got out of Dallas, just from talking to people in Dallas, and they were saying, Kyrie Irving has come in. Mm-hmm. And we know about some of the off-court issues, but as a player and as a practice player, he outworks Luka Doncic night and day.
Really?
Like, Luka's lazy. He doesn't want to do anything. And it translates to the court during a game. You see the way Luka went out as a 24-year-old. Look, you could say what you want about Kyrie Irving, but if I built around Kyrie, now you can't count on him because of all the things that happens off the court. Mm-hmm. So I'd be reluctant to give him a long-term deal. But can you win with Luka as your number one? Who would want to play with Luka Doncic?
That's a better question. I think he can evolve over time, but right now,
I don't know.
But right now, he's a ball hog.
When he doesn't have the ball, he just stands there.
Yeah, exactly.
He plays no defense.
Cries all game. That must get tiring to be his teammate.
So I don't know how good of a teammate he is. I think Dallas is in trouble.
I think you're right.
They may have to just say, you know what, the hell with this experiment. Let's trade Luka for a bunch of picks and trade Kyrie. I don't think they will do it.
Doing that.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
What would you fetch for someone like Luka?
I don't know if you could build around Luka, man.
That's crazy.
Everything is dribble, 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 dribble,
It's so
dribble,
bad.
dribble, dribble, dribble.
Well, and then if you're telling me that he's got some off-court, work habit issues, those aren't going to go away to the next organization he goes to. I mean,
No.
normally when you show up to a new place, when you're that talented, they're all on bending knee.
Yeah, no, they're in trouble.
That's sad because Dirk, I never, when you look at Dirk sitting right next to Cuban and everything that organization represents, that's kind of like anti what I think of the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, they haven't been able to get a big-time free agent in a very long time.
Yes.
Because Cuban gutted the championship team and all the things that has happened inside that organization. Like D'Lo was bringing it up yesterday, and it made me think Dallas has had a lot of turmoil within their organization.
Oh, tons.
Beat reporters, team reporters,
The front office had
front
a lot
office,
of issues.
HR. It was a lot of nasty stuff
exactly.
going on down there. And they can't get Kyrie, you're not going to give him a long-term deal. But if I'm looking at a short-term solution with the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie outplayed Luka down the stretch.
That's
He did.
crazy.
He did.
That's crazy.
So who would have more suitors, Draymond or Kyrie? Draymond Green, man, is a winning player. He's a winning player. I don't know. The Mavericks, they're a mess right now. Let's go to Paul in Union City. Paul, what's happening? I can't believe they went Western Conference Finals to no play-in tournament.
I think that is one of the
That is just
craziest fall-offs in sports.
it's just wild. They were ascending. They let go of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson just walked. Let's go to